Hey Stitch family, it's Andrew here. For my community updates, normally I like to talk about things that are fun and exciting, upcoming things to look forward to, just general activities in the community that make everyone happy, because that's what Stitch is all about. But you probably also know that before we can do anything fun on Stitch, we need to keep everyone in the community safe. And that means sometimes I have to talk about some topics that are quite serious. And this week's community update is about your safety, because we've been noticing a few things in the community that are quite serious and are a concern for all of us. And when I say, something serious, it's much more serious than just I met someone at an event, maybe I didn't like them, or the food wasn't right at this restaurant. This is actually about the well-being of the community as a whole. And we're making some changes to help protect all of you. And we'd like you all to be aware of not only what's coming up, but why it's coming up and why it's important. So we'll get started. So just to backtrack a little bit, you all know that Stitch does its best to keep all our members safe. And one part of safety for the community is our verification process, where we get everyone to verify that they are a real person before they can access the community, send messages and so on. And the fact we are a community does help people stay safe, certainly much more safe than you find on many online websites where you're not really sure who you're interacting with. If you're going to an in-person event with people, they're in your local area, it's your chances of being under threat by a hacker from another country doing something are zero, because they're not showing up at an event in your local area. Having said that, we, as the community grows, we are a target for the hacker types. Every day, the Stitch team is reviewing accounts of new signups, verifications, making sure that they are real people. And of course, we get scammers trying to sign up every day. We're very proud of our track record. Over 10 years, not a single member has ever been scammed out of money as a result of being a member of Stitch, which is really, really cool. And the verification step is only one step of what we do to keep people safe. There's monitoring of messages that are sent. You'll see warnings pop up. We have our member review system. There's so many things that go into us keeping the community safe. But one thing that's worried me over the last 6 to 12 months is one thing that we can't guard against, or haven't traditionally guarded against, is our members themselves not looking after their own safety. We had a few instances of scammers getting hold of member accounts. And typically what had happened is those members had used the same password on a range of websites on the web. Some of them got compromised. And as a result, the lists of emails and passwords on these websites then get published on the dark web, for hackers to take a look at. And then they use those emails and passwords to try to sign up to any website they can think of. And we had the very first one of these. We had a woman whose Gmail account had been compromised because she'd used the same password on Gmail as what she'd used on some other third-party sites. That had been compromised. They got into Gmail, and then they saw that she was a member of Stitch. They did forgot password on Stitch, got into Stitch that way. And because she'd already had a verified account, they were able to change her profile details and start sending lots of messages. And she was already verified, so her verified account was able to then send messages to people. And it took a little bit before we got alerted to this fact. In the wake of that incident, this was a woman in Canada. In the wake of that incident, we added extra controls to help us detect if an account might have been taken over. You might have experienced warnings about messages that get sent with contact information, stuff like that. And a lot of those are the ways that we protect you. Okay, I know it's sometimes an inconvenience, but it's born out of the experience we have of all it takes is one person to get compromised, their account compromised or taken over, and that can create a problem for the community, particularly if they can connect with Stitch members and convince those members to start communicating outside Stitch. If you stay on Stitch, you're very, very safe because we get the ability to detect and monitor the messages. Okay, so that's the background. But we've been noticing a bit of a trend over the last 12 months where we've had a few more of those things happen, where we've noticed our members are clearly not being very good with their using different passwords for their Stitch accounts, and we've had members had their we've had I think 3 this year where members had their account taken over. At the same time, one really concerning trend that we're seeing is the rise of these hacking attacks, not just on Stitch, but on websites all over the place this year. And we are seeing attacks now on pretty much a weekly basis where our servers are attacked by, again, hackers, the best way to describe them, from various places around the world. The last one was from Russia. Sometimes they use these arrays of different machines, so they're coming from all over the place. And typically what they're trying to do is test out the Stitch system to see, do you have members with this email address trying to sign in and so on. And they do it at large scale. In some cases, again, typically they might have another website that's been compromised and they get millions of email addresses. So then they're trying to use every single one of them to sign under Stitch. So a couple of things happen in that situation. One is our system gets under a lot of load, so that can slow things down. Sometimes you might see Stitch behaving slowly. Often it's because we're under an attack of some kind. And so we're working behind the scenes. This is actually takes a lot of my team's time to try to defend us and defend your accounts to keep you safe in the community. And it's working, but of course we don't like it when the system slows down. So we're working on how to improve that. But we want to rule out the chances of any member, because if one member gets compromised, it actually threatens the safety of everyone else in the community too. So one of the things that you're likely to see in the next couple of weeks is we're introducing a change that if your account gets accessed from another machine that you've never used it before, you'll get a text message about that we'll send a text message to your verified phone number asking you to confirm it with just a code. Now, if you've signed up in the last couple of years, we get you to do this during sign up. And that allows us to verify your phone number and so on. And so we're doing, you're probably familiar with this on banking websites and so on, something similar, but what we're trying to also preserve is to make Stitch easy to use. So if you're using it on your phone or on your laptop, the system isn't going to be constantly asking you to add a code to sign in, because we know that's frustrating and problematic. But if it's some other device somewhere else, could be a new phone that you've signed up with, that you're trying to use for the first time, could be you got yourself a new laptop, but it could also be a hacker trying to sign in using your email address. The system, it's not optional, the system will send out a text message to your account saying you need to enter this code. If you are trying to do the login and you see the code, then you get the code and you type it in and it'll be fine. If you're not trying to log in, then of course that will be a bit of a trigger to let you know that someone's trying to log into your account. You hit a button and let us know that this was unauthorized, and we'll be able to shut down that attempt and keep them out. They won't be able to get in anyway. It just gives them gives us extra protection to keep them out. And of course, if you have inadvertently used the same password on Stitch, even if they have your password, they won't be able to get into your account. Okay, so just trying to let you know this is coming. I do encourage you, by the way, get yourself a password management tool and make sure you have different passwords for every different website out there. Password management tools mean you don't have to remember the password for every website. You just remember one password and it'll fill in the details for you. But even if you haven't done that, even if you've been a bit lazy and use a really simple password for Stitch, this is another way of keeping you safe and also keeping other members of the community safe. We're going to be rolling out a bunch of other things to help us in these cases of attacks from hackers as well. So there are two things to remember, two things to be aware of. One is that you're likely to see these messages start to pop up if you start using Stitch on a new device. But if you're using a Stitch on your existing device, you won't notice any difference. You'll just keep on being able to log in and use Stitch. There'll be no change whatsoever. So we're trying to get that right. The other thing is, if you signed up a long time ago, we might not have a verified phone number for you. Everyone over the last few years who've signed up has to verify their phone number when they join. But people who signed up before that, it was only optional. So you're going to start seeing a prompt inside Stitch to say, please enter your phone number and verify it. Please, please, please do that. It helps keep you safe. Until you've got a verified phone number in the system, we cannot keep you safe. and you'll get it a number of weeks before you're forced to have to do so. But please do it as soon as you can, because the sooner you do it, the safer you'll be. And it'll just pop up inside Stitch just saying, it's time to verify your phone number. Please follow the prompts. Hit next, enter your phone number, and it'll send you a text. If you don't have a mobile phone, you will get an option for it to call you, and it can say, the system can read out the numbers to you over the phone. And we've been finding that that's been enough for everyone to get through okay. So it's just another reminder that safety is paramount. We can't have a community where everyone looks after each other if we can't keep that community safe from outside threats. And this is just one of those outside threats. And it's the one that we worry about the most because it can come from anywhere in the world. Whereas actually the in-person events, you are much, 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 much safer because you're just going about your regular daily business the way you do, and you don't have to worry about these hackers. But online threats are a real concern because they can reach us anywhere. And like I said, we've got a great track record in the community of keeping members safe. This is just another step we're taking to fight off these dastardly people who just want to tear things down. It's very disappointing that the world works that way, but we've got no choice. It adds a big cost to us, a big stress and burden, of course, but we just want to keep that perfect record and keep you all safe. So please look out for the changes. If you've got any questions when these dialogues and messages pop up, just reach out to Stitch. We will never send you an email asking you for your code or anything like that. So always just be mindful. It'll only pop up inside when you're using Stitch, so you can enter the information there. And if you've got any doubts about contacting Stitch, you can always open Stitch and do contact Stitch via the More menu. And that's a great way of getting in contact with the team, or email support@stitch.net. Thanks for listening. Just stay safe out there, and I don't want to alert you too much. Again, we've had 0 cases of anyone getting scammed out of money as a member of Stitch in 10 years. So you should feel very, very safe, but we do want you to cooperate and help us continue to keep the community safe over the next 10 years as well. Hope that all makes sense. Let us know if you've got any questions. And in the meantime, enjoy yourself and stay safe. See you next time.